Well, welcome back to the channel, everybody. As we enter the month of June, we still do not have nights that are conducive to vegetation. Put it that way. They've been a little chilly. Michelle is out right now working on the greenhouse and her planter boxes, and I'll let her give you an update on that as the camp robbers come swooping in on us.
All right, so for those of you who are wondering how we do our gardens out here, this is my first year actually trying to do this. So I bought these 8x4 by 1 foot galvanized beds from Amazon, and we still have to do some leveling off here. As you can see, it's kind of wonky. We've got stumps that need to come out, and I think that's birch growing there. But anyway, this all needs to come out. Cardboard. Took all our Amazon boxes, and as I go through, I rip off the plastic and any colored stuff that might be on the boxes, and I lay that in here. Now, I'm not going to do anything else with these right now, but we can go that way. In the greenhouse, I started my 8-foot beds. The cardboard's down, but this has come to kind of a halt because I don't have enough dirt to fill these beds right now. So I've got plenty of pots. So what I'm going to do this summer is these pots are just going to come in and sit inside of here. Tomatoes, zucchini, and I don't know, whatever else I'm growing. Squash. They're going to come in and sit in here. Right now the temperature in here is about 95 degrees. Woo, it's hot in here. So then we come over here, and I have 4-foot beds, which are easy to show you as I go through these steps. This one back here has cardboard on it, and then I took punk wood that we have lying around from doing firewood, or that we just picked up because I said I wanted to use it for gardening. You can also use this for firewood, well, the drier stuff. You can use for firewood, you know, like in the spring where it's not too cold. You just want something to keep the place kind of warm. And then this bed. This is what the bed will look like when it's finished. Unfortunately, last year we tried river dirt and it didn't come out too well. So what I ended up with was a bunch of clay. Most of it I think I've gotten out. I was out here yesterday going through and trying to get rid of the clay. But under here we've got the cardboard, we have, you know, sticks, we have punk wood, and yeah, like here's some clay. This is what came out of the river dirt. It's pretty much useless as far as, and what happened last year, none of anything that was in pots with this, even mixed with soil, it didn't grow. This, however, should be a little bit better this year because I've got more soil in here. Chickweed's going to go in here. Purslane, I hope, is going to go in here. And I have, so for example, these 8-foot beds, we figure they take about 16 cubic feet of dirt. I have maybe 7 or 8 cubic feet of dirt. And I have 4 cubic feet of coconut coir. So we're gonna have to do pots because it's the only way I'll be able to grow anything this year. I just don't have enough dirt until we figure out where we can dig up good dirt around the property and fill up our beds.
Well, something similar to progress is taking place with our chicken coop. And as I told you in an earlier video, this is all being thrown together from scrap lumber and materials that we have laying around the place. Later in the summer, they will get a really nice coop and a little scratch around yard, which will be much larger than this. So this is, like I said, temporary. I'm trying to rush it here because we have a storm moving in. The Alaskan wilderness in spring holds a unique kind of beauty. It's a fragile promise of life emerging from the harsh grip of winter. But this transition isn't always gentle. As you can see as I walk towards the cut bank here, a spring storm in Alaska can be a brutal reminder of nature's power. The swirling dance of rain and wind, and yes, even snow at times. At least momentarily, will swoop in and sweep across the land. What was green and thawing just hours before can be buried again under, believe it or not, even snow. The budding wildflower is hidden and shivering beneath the renewed onslaught. The wind howls like a trapped spirit, whipping the rain into a frenzy that obscures the horizon and tests our resilience each and every time we face off with nature. This shelter logic we erected 5 years ago, and every year since then it has taken a real beating. But this year, this storm, this almost did it in. I had just gotten it put back together, the front on it, and the wind actually broke the ratchet straps that hold that front tight. And there's the front over there. So it was one windy day. Well, for those of you who have asked, I'll give you an update on the greenhouse. We were able to get it flipped back over, and that's about as far as we've gotten right now. Got to get some nuts and bolts tightened up, and then the front and back panel reconnected, so to speak, and then we will get the cover on it. But I have some very large heavy spruce logs that this thing will be attached to from now on. I'll do it similar to how I did the brown tents over there. Not exactly the way I did it, but utilizing what we have around here to avoid this from happening again. It's odd when you're walking around and all of a sudden you hear human voices off in the distance. And then you realize you see tiny little specks out on the river, and you have people canoeing the river. We don't see this much. Not a lot of recreational activity in these parts. Well, it's June the 10th, 2025, and once again we are grid down. So I'm not exactly sure when you'll be watching this video. Right now, I'm trying to protect myself from mosquitoes here. They are pretty intense. 37 degrees our low this morning in the month of June, and normally we would be in the 40s, not the 30s. But like I said, we're grid down for, let's see, this is the third time our modem has gone down with HughesNet. This last modem lasted 2.5 months before it went down. We have replaced the radio, this deal right here. They call that a radio. That we've replaced that twice. So just to put it mildly, we're done with HughesNet. I mean, great internet, but their equipment sucks because it does not last. Or either that or the fact they're giving us the seconds, as it would be called. So we'll see what transpires, and we'll keep you up to date as to what's going on. All right, get your paddle ready there.
I am. Get this off of here. Okay, which way? This side?
Yeah, you want your bow pointed out into the river, so. All right, let me.
I'm gonna push up, ready?
Yep.
Hold on, you're turning into the boat.
Yeah. Oh well. No.
Where did you put my phone? Oh. Here's my thinking. I'll have Chuck take me to my truck. I'll run by the post office and then come back. We load up the truck. And then I take you to Chuck so you can do the Zoleo thing. How's that work?
All right. All right, I gotta find a tie-off spot here.
Good luck. Everything's been worn off.
Well, honey, they're up there. You just have to take the rope up to them.
Okay, you've got that, so. So it took us an hour and 45 minutes. All right. This back on. Some protection from the skeeters.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that would have been bad. Yeah, you hit some big rock underneath here. There's some good size. I should say, no, I mean good size of those right under here.
Yeah.
Would you tie off to the wire?
No,
Oh,
there's a log up there.
We did not pray before we left.
No.
And when you are on the water, I want all your buckles buckled.
Oh,
all
well, I
of
was
them.
trying to take this off for right now.
Right. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
You get on there and you buckle one or two and then you leave it. But if you were to go in that river, the rush of the river would just pull this right off. Or it'll pull it down and it won't do you a darn bit of good. Because you'll be underwater instead of on top of the water.
Yeah.
I think this right here would make a cool little chair. You know?
It might. I don't know.
Never mind. I thought it was a little more solid than that. Gotta make a cool little rocking chair.
Well, we made it into town.
Into Manly. Into Village.
We are picnicking out in front of the post office, trying to charge up some things in the truck and then Michelle will head to Fairbanks. I will head back home. I love you too. I am going to. You be very safe. All right.
Zoleo just beat?
This
Oh, that was
did.
that. Okay, your Zoleo's on you. Where's your phone?
My phone is in my pocket.
Okay.
All right.
You want me to toss this rope back to you
Yes.
once you get going?
Yep. All right. I love you too. You drive safe. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. If you would give this video a like, it helps us out a lot. Don't forget, leave a comment and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another episode. Because coming up next, we welcome the chickens home.